Welcome to the Scoop World Order Matinee Edition. A little early tonight. We got some stuff we got to get done to get ready for the Marshall game. Noon kick tomorrow in the shoe. The Bucks are back in town, ready to rock. The season is going to go by fast, folks, so enjoy every minute of it. It's going to be fantastic. So we're going to give you our predictions. Is the hammer coming from Michigan? There's some really crazy stuff going on with Blake Corum's LLCs. A lot of weird stuff around Michigan right now. And they have the big, bad USC Trojans coming to town. We're going to give you your thoughts on that. Take your super chats. And as always, we appreciate you guys who are members of this show, who watch the show every day. We appreciate all of our regulars, the Scoop family, guys like Steely, all you guys that are in here each and every night. Appreciate you guys rounding the troops up. I set out the bat signal earlier today. Said, hey, we're going to go early today, so see if you can get people on. We appreciate you guys, as always. If you guys enjoy this content, please leave us a like. Click subscribe. Also, click that little alert bell if you do something amazing. Subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts. That is huge for our growth. It's been something we've been focusing on. We kind of did a little rundown of what we could be better at, and getting our audio medium spruced up a little bit is something that has been very important to us. So again, we appreciate that. YouTube is killing it, number one in every rating, every metric. So thank you guys for that. Again, this is a huge show because you guys make it one, and we love you guys for that. Again, we work each and every night, even if we have activities, we just try to get a show on the board for you guys, because I know you guys look forward to seeing us at 7. Sometimes we have some stuff to do in our lives. We actually do have lives, believe it or not. So we move it around to make sure you guys have something to watch each and every night. That being said, I'm going to bring in my good friend Nevadabuck. It's matinee time for the old Buckeye Scoop. How are you feeling? We're a night out from a season that is going to go by way too fast, as we've already talked about. And I think Ryan Day has got a great mindset right now. He's got a killer mindset. He's got the foot on the throat of the players right now, which is good. Again, I think that it's a dangerous team because everybody repeatedly says how good it is. I thought Ross Bjork, who I really think does a great job, made a blunder by saying that we spent $20 million on the roster, because that gets repeated ad nauseum by analysts now. But the target is on Ohio State's back, and I think that Ryan is correctly managing this team by putting, again, his foot on their throats and really pushing these guys. This is not something where you just want to coast into the Oregon game and into the Michigan game and into the playoffs. You have to continuously improve, and that's what he's pushing right now. But what are your thoughts on where the team is the night before a nice tilt against Marshall at noon in the shoe tomorrow?
Well, I'm excited because I've got a reservation tonight at the 1922 Club, so I'm going to head down there. I was able to get one, and I'm going to slip in there tonight. And there didn't seem like there's a lot of other reservations made or something like that, but I think I might be one of the first patrons there at the 1922. So if you want to come down and meet Nevadabuck for a cocktail at the 1922 Club, come on down. Kirk, are you going to come join me, sit at the table with me, and hang out?
Like, I was making fun of that to you earlier today, and just to be clear, Nevadabuck is not in town, and he's not going to be at the 1920, which isn't even open yet. He's like, he might be hanging out. He'll be hanging out in the scaffolding and among the cinder blocks and the empty. But it's like, I don't know. Like, I think it's a clever idea to charge $4,500 a year for some club that's in the stadium where you have to pay to park, and then if they serve the same food that's in the stadium, then it's. I can't even put into words how bad the food is in the stadium and how expensive it is. So to spend money to actually have the privilege to eat that food on a time where you don't have to eat that food, you go to any other restaurant in America. And again, to me, I'm going Buffalo Wild Wings, Twin Peaks, Town Hall, Mandrake, our sponsors. They all smoke the food at the Ohio Stadium, but that's just me. And again, you guys this week got to take care of our sponsors. Twin Peaks is killing it. Buffalo Wild Wings is killing it. It's been an absolute dream to be partners with them. So, but no, I am not going to join it. But again, Ross Bjork has got to get creative with the fundraising machine, because there's so many new line items that didn't exist 10 years ago, 15 years ago. NIL, unlimited food. Those are humongous additions to the budget, and you got to find money for it. You got to feed the football beast, a new football building, new hockey building. So if you got to put a club inside of Ohio Stadium, I guess you got to do it. Again, I hope the food's better than the normal food, because I mean, the food that they serve isn't good. And again, I'm not trying to be a baby or complain about it, but I know what good food looks like. I don't get to be as big as I am by eating air. So, but no, I'm not going to the 1984 Club or whatever it's called, or 1922, but you're not going to belong to that, are you?
Well, look, if I lived closer, I absolutely would. Because I think the idea is a great idea. No, I think it's a great idea. if properly executed. Okay, because they've got the Huntington Club right now, and
Mhm.
for anybody who's been inside the Huntington Club, you realize there's not a lot special about being inside the Huntington Club. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's just not. It's like it's stuck back in like 1991 or something like that, and they've got nice carb sandwich. I do like the carb sandwiches and stuff, but it just feels very cheap. And if you're going to do a club like this, do it like the old Forum Club for the Lakers or something like
Mhm.
that, and do it with
Yep.
like the rich wood and the low lighting, and have the thing be a place that people really want to be, really want to get into that next door. Have it open more longer than 1 hour after the games. Don't have it just open for just a bit of time, because its highest value is post game. But if I live closer, I would consider doing it if they did it right. Um, but because you're not going to be there tonight, I'm not going to go then. If you say you're not going, I'm not going to go. I will boycott the 1922 club tonight, or at least until it's open, and then we'll try it out and we'll give a review here. We'll do a scoop each 1922 club edition, and we'll film it and we'll give a review. What do you think? Kind of like giving a review of the buffet at like the
Oh my
Hampton Inn
God.
in Bloomington,
Stop.
Indiana, or something like that. That was
Oh.
some of the greatest video that we've
Oh.
ever had here, and I can only hope to live up to that cinematic excellence that we had there on that.
It's like
But I
they
digress.
they open up the big metal pan thing, and it's just a blast of steam, and like one like old sausage patty sitting there that's dried out because it's way overheated. It's like beef
Oh
jerky at
God.
that point. It's like, this is our spread here that they put on for the media, and I'm like, what are we doing? I mean, this, like, just delete, 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 delete. But I don't like again. I like. Here's the thing I'll give Ross Bjork credit for. I love ingenuity. I love figuring out new ways to make the experience special. I think that the experience at Ohio Stadium is terrible. I think it's one of the worst in the country for that type of venue. Now, I'm not comparing it to Purdue or Bloomington, or like, those are like, like Division III stadiums. But like, you've been to, like, you're going to SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles, Allegiant Stadium in Vegas. I mean, you've been to like these new arenas, these new stadiums, and it's like, they're really nice. Like, they've got great amenities. And again, like, we've been to, I think that the only place, it's funny because to me, like, Ohio Stadium, the amenities, they remind me of like when we went to the United Center for the NHL draft. You remember that? The year that Cale Makar should have went first. He went like fourth, and Nico Hischier went first. That was a few years ago. But we had Cody Glass go, and we had Henry Yokiharu go from the Portland Winterhawks. Like, do you remember how bad the United Center was? Like, we ordered food, and it was across the hallway, and they had the food thing plugged in with an extension cord, like a crock pot. I was like, this is a suite in Chicago? Really? I was like, this is what it is. They had an orange extension cord. Like, you got it from Home Depot to keep the food warm. And I was like, this is really bad, But again, I would have crazy ideas for Ohio Stadium to make it like a true luxury experience. But again, like a lot of things at Ohio State, they get by on the cheap. Because they don't care. They're just like, look, people are going to show up. We can raise the ticket prices by 50%, and they're still going to sell out because the team is just so good. This team, so they don't care. Again, it was like when I was at the Woody Hayes and I was a player and a coach, like, we had the worst gear. Our gear is terrible. And again, people like to hear this stuff, but I'm like, then Urban showed up and he said, screw you. We're going to have the best stuff now. And so all of a sudden, the athletic department had to go spend the money, instead of giving it to all the stupid ancillary sports. He started having to spend it on upgrading the football stuff, which is, and we still don't have a new building, but I digress. Do you have anything else on the 1922 club before everybody is just roll their eyes at us for complaining about the experience of Ohio Stadium?
No, no, I like the idea. I'm telling you, I'm a big fan of Ross's. I love the ingenuity. I love the fact that he's doing stuff that has only been on the drawing board, and he's only been there a little bit of time, and he's hitting the ground running. The Archie Griffin statue, long overdue. A premium club experience, awesome idea. An upgraded Woody Hayes Athletic Center. Let's go. So Ross is doing work. He understands where the bread is buttered, and no, I'm excited about it. And the 1920, I think, like, again, I want to be really clear. We're making fun, but if that is properly executed, that could be super cool. and I hope they properly execute it, and I hope it's super cool, and I hope that they do some things to Ohio State. I mean, if I was man, I would have a world class Ohio State museum at Ohio State. You know, I mean, like play on the history. I mean, do the whole thing
Hmm.
kind of like they do at Lambeau Field. At Lambeau Field, like you go there and you feel the history. It's just it's dripping there. The history of the Packers and of the NFL and all the great games that have been played in that stadium. And at Ohio State, the only thing dripping is like the pipes and things like that. And it doesn't feel like rich with tradition. It just feels old and dirty. And I think they got to do a better job on that because that stadium's seen so many great. I mean, that's been such a integral part of college football history. That has run right through Columbus and right through that stadium. But really, play on that, man. You can celebrate that. There's ways to do it. But anyway, I'm on my
Uh,
high horse. Now let's get to Marshall. Let's talk a little bit of Marshall football. Hey, Marshall might be the worst passing team that I've ever seen. The Marshall cannot throw the football. They're really, really bad at throwing the football. So what they're going to try to do is they're going to just try to run the quarterback, do some of that read option stuff and run them around and do things like that. And I just don't think that's going to work against a defense as active with as disruptive a front as we have, and with as many guys as we have that can run at linebacker and in the secondary. I think it's going to be they're going to really really struggle to move the football, and Ohio State's going to be able to name the score. So tomorrow's going to be one of those. If you're going with any other expectation other than it's going to be kind of a name the score game, I think you'll be disappointed. But I'm I haven't posted my score on the website yet, so I'm not going to give a score here. I refuse to give a score here until I put it on the thing. But I will say it's. I am predicting that Ohio State will cover the spread tomorrow. That's Nevadabuck's final answer. Will cover the spread. Even though I'm a little concerned coming off a bye week, I just think their week of preparation has been so good. The stuff that Chip Kelly and Ryan Day have been doing over the past 2 weeks has been so innovative, and I think the guys are genuinely jacked to play, despite the 12 noon sleepy time, Kirk Barton's favorite time for kickoff, and the fact that the fans are going to be going there in their jammies and they'll be all super quiet and everything like that. I just think our talent is so overwhelming that will suffocate and eke out a spread cover tomorrow against Marshall.
I
And the spread's
love
40.
noon games.
The
I
spread's
love
40
noon
points.
games. Love
I
noon
know you
games.
do.
Love them.
I know you do.
Love them. Give me. I wish every game was at noon. I do.
I know you.
Love
You
them.
don't like atmosphere. I know you don't like loud crowds. I get it. I understand.
Well, I mean,
Not
what's
for
the difference? What's the difference between having a 1 p.m. NFL kickoff like half the teams in the league do every week? I mean, I get it's great to go at 4:30 and Sunday Night Football and Monday Night Football, but like for me, man, when we're playing a crappy team like Marshall, give me that noon kick every time, baby. Get it out of the way so I can get home and we can watch a good game. Because there's nothing worse than we do like Western Michigan at kickoff at 8 o'clock, and I'm like, what are we doing?
That was
like,
kind of
oh
fun.
my God.
That was actually kind of fun. That was kind of fun. And I know you don't like having recruits at the game, and you don't like
Nope.
the energy and the atmosphere and stuff
Nope.
like that. You're like you have become like one of those commercials about becoming your parents. You have officially become your parent. You're like, I don't like traffic. I don't like noise. I don't like
I hate
this.
traffic.
I want to get home. You hate traffic.
I hate traffic. I hate traffic.
I
I
know.
hate people. I hate that we still have your 1986 Curtis Mathis TV because you refuse to upgrade the TV in the suite. We have the only TV that doesn't work in the entire suite. It's amazing. Like it's got a giant.
I will
There's
not
a giant.
I'm not
You're
doing
the
that.
last. You're the last holdout. You're like those tribes that live on like islands in the Pacific that have never met
Exactly.
civilization
Never
before.
got-
They've got
that's-
it's like
that's
they'll have like a drone flying over it or a plane. They throw spears at it, and that's you with your TV that you refuse to spend the money to. You're like on principle. I'm not upgrading it because I don't use it.
I'm like when you see those developers in New York and they have that little house there that will not sell out
Yep.
to the guys
That's
and it's
it.
built around
Yep.
it. That's me. That is me. I'm not selling
Yeah.
out to the man.
You're
Hey, for what I spend on that suite, they can put in the new television. I refuse to give them the money.
Well, it's funny. You're like that bar that just closed. I forget what it's called. It was on campus, and it was like surrounded by these looming multi-mixed development commercial apartment buildings. And then guess what happened? The overlord stepped in and just took it from him and said, sorry, your land is too valuable. Your little tiny bar is no longer going to be in existence. And it's literally, they just closed last week. So it was funny. It was like the last of the Mohicans. There was one little dive bar that was left from 20 years ago. Now it's nothing but Targets and Starbucks. It's great. A lot of character.
Super awesome.
But yeah, I feel good about the team. I think that they're on a mission. I think that they'll get a little spark from Donnie. You know, it's something when you're coming back from an injury. Like I lived that when I didn't miss many games. I had no 5. I missed games in the middle of the season, and missing games when you're a starter and a good player is like a special type of hell. It is terrible. Like I hated, because again, like you realize how disposable you're. Like again, every Ohio State player is disposable, completely disposable. And when as soon as you're done, then the next I always say that being an Ohio State football player is like being a gallon of milk. Gallon of milk is awesome when it's fresh, front of the shelf. You take it home, you eat your cookies, you drink your milk. Amazing. If that milk spoils, guess what? It's in the trash can. Nobody keeps an old gallon of milk. That's what it's like being an Ohio State football player. And again, that's not being negative. It's just being self-aware. Because again, Marvin Harrison Jr., greatest receiver in the history of the program, in Ohio State history. Highest drafted player, has Blitnikoff winner and everything. Guess what? He leaves and who steps in? J.J. Smith, who's just as good, if not better than Marvin was. So again, like when in the moral of the story is like, when I was hurt, Alex Boone stepped in, played good, didn't play great, but he played good. He's a true freshman. And, like the bus kept rolling. They didn't cancel the games because I got hurt or because anybody got hurt. Donnie Jackson, he's out, misses the first 2 games. They put Austin Sarveld in, and could we have been a little bit better if Donnie's in? Sure, but we still won like 55 or 56-0, whatever it was, week 2, and played really well. So I remember the feeling of like, I could not wait to get back in the game and get back to starting, get back to whooping it. Cause like, I just missed playing. And again, if you want to feel worthless in your life as a college athlete, get injured and then they take you off the travel squad. So you don't even, like, I was hurt. I didn't even travel with the team. They left me at home. They went to Indiana and Minnesota in 2005, and they just left my carcass at home, which again, you feel your own mortality where you're just like, well, damn, I guess I really am not that important. They left me at home. And again, honestly, if they asked me if I wanted to travel or not travel, I'd rather not travel with a screwed up knee, because then I could go to the Woody Hayes, get a workout in on Saturday, get around to rehab in, because they always leave a trainer behind to work with the rehab guys, and they usually leave a strength coach behind too, to open the gym up so you can get a workout. And so I was able to work out and get closer to being healthier. So again, when you travel, you can't do that. You could get some stem and some ice, but you can't get a good workout if you're in a hotel gym where they've got an Aerodyne bike and a stupid treadmill. Like you need a Stairmaster and some weights and stuff to do your rehab work. So, but I'm excited to see Donnie. Like I think that he'll provide a nice spark. If I was Donnie, I'd have a huge edge to kind of, I don't want to prove it to Ryan that, I should have been a captain. Donnie's the guy, he started more games than Cody Simon, way more, and he started as many as Trey or Emeka, but he wasn't a captain. So, and again, I don't know if that's just Donnie's character. I think Donnie's a great kid, but again, I would want to go out there and prove that they made a mistake. And again, maybe that's just me. Maybe you guys know that I always work with a pretty severe edge to myself, and that's just how I am. I'm competitive and I want to beat people down, but I'm excited to see what Donnie can do. Because again, I think he's been good, but I think he'll add an extra layer. And I'm excited to see him work with Seth McLaughlin on double team blocks in the middle of our offense, because I think that those 2 guys will be able to move guys. Because Seth McLaughlin, all I heard off season from our fan base and from Alabama and all these other morons in the world is that that he had bad snaps. He wasn't that good. Alabama wanted him to leave and all this other stuff. And it's like, well, guys can get better. And again, snaps, I don't worry about guys with snaps because that's a mental thing. And you could have him snap the ball 1,000 times a day. Like he could have his mom stand in the backyard and he could snap it to her over and over again. Like I used to do that with Corey. Corey Lindsley was the worst snapping center in Ohio State history until we made him not that. We made him rep it every day to the point where it was almost ridiculous. And guess what? He became very consistent. And then guess what happened? He went to the National Football League, and guess who his quarterback was? It was Aaron Rodgers. So you know how long you're going to last as Aaron Rodgers is center if your snaps aren't perfect and they're all over the place consistently. He's going to kill you. So guess what? Corey locked in, became great, became the highest paid center in NFL history when he signed his one deal. Now he's retired and he's doing great. So again, you can work on stuff that involves muscle memory because that's why you have coaches. That's why you have GAs. All right, Nevada, any other thoughts? And we can dig into some super chats.
No, I'm excited to see Donnie back, and we talked about it last night, but there's some personnel grouping change stuff that they've been working on. I'm going to be really interested to see if they do it. Do they do it? Because how many times we've had stuff where we've talked about stuff that we've seen in practice, stuff that we've heard about that they're doing, stuff that they've experimented with, and then they don't do it, and you're like, oh my gosh, with notable exceptions. I remember the great Fox and Hound play that was with Terrell Pryor and Todd Beckman, and split them out and threw the pass to Terrell Pryor and called it before the game, and then it happened. And it's just nice when it comes together. But I'm just going to be really interested to see, does Chip, are the guys together enough? Is it refined enough that he'd be willing to do some hockey line changes, change out 4 guys, change out 5 guys, change out 11 guys? Will he do it? And what will happen if he does that in a game? What will the defense do? I'm going to watch the whole game just to see if he does that even once, because I think I'll just die laughing if that happens.
Well, I mean, they worked on it. Again, that's the beauty of a bye week is you can change stuff. You can work on stuff. You can rehearse stuff. I'm sure that they're doing their walkthrough literally like right now, or they're probably finished. They're heading to dinner right now. It's 5:00. But I've seen things land on the cutting room floor. I've seen things that we rehearsed. Again, I played obviously at Ohio State. I coached at Ohio State, and we've done some crazy stuff that never made it to the game. Some stuff that we worked on. I mean, there was some counter plays and stuff that we put on for the 2005 Texas game that we worked on. We walked through them and we never actually ran them. But we've hit on some crazy stuff. Like we hit on I remember you hit a nugget on the field goal block and how, Ryan was trying to get people excited to be on field goal block. And then all of a sudden they put DeWand on it and DeWand blocks a field goal. And I was like, wow, I guess we were right again, and that's the beauty of what we do is people, talk to us all the time. Every day, what's going on in practice, what's going on in the Woody Hayes. And it's just funny because some of the stuff is incredible and it's incredibly accurate. And then it might not come to fruition yet. And that's the greatest thing ever. Because again, the greatest one ever, that was Trey Sermon. Trey Sermon, great source, watching practice. He's like, dude, wait till you see this guy. He's like Alvin Kamara. He can catch the ball. He's dynamic running it. He's unbelievable. And we reported that because again, this was a guy that knew football. This wasn't some guy who'd never seen a game before, didn't know what he's talking about. And so we go with it, and it's like, yeah, he's going to be a dynamic asset to the team. And we got him from Oklahoma, a big transfer, and yeah, it's going to be great. Again, we thought initially that he'd have kind of the impact that Quinshon Judkins is having this year, and then all of a sudden we get to the games and he doesn't play. He plays 2 snaps, 3 snaps, a couple carries, and doesn't do much with them, and then. I'm just like, what in the hell? I called him. I was like, were your eyes bad, or were you watching the wrong guy, or was it a different number, whatever it was, 8 or whatever his number was? And then he's like, no, dude, he's the best. He might be the best player on the team. And I was like, really? And then we get into the big, we get finally an injury opens the door where they're forced to play him, and he breaks Eddie George's rushing record, runs for 340 yards or whatever it was against Northwestern. I was like, oh, I guess he was really good. I guess he was really that guy. And again, sometimes if you have a coach who's a total idiot, a total moron like Tony Alford running the rotations, then hey, I mean, I don't know how we can't combat incompetence. That's the hard part. When we were reporting that Trey Henderson looked like Saquon Barkley as a freshman, and he's the best back on the team by far, and then they start Mayan Williams and Master Teague over him, and then Trey, his first or second touch, he had a 72-yard touchdown. And I was like, wow, that's way different than those other 2 guys. I wonder why he doesn't play more. Because when a position coach is a total moron and he falls his way up the ladder, then it is what it is. So again, I love the accuracy of our information. Now, they don't go with it. But again, everything about what was described to us about what's going on in practice makes total sense. And that's the beauty of it is in the transfer portal era, man, you really have to keep kids happy. You have to re-recruit these kids every year. And, when you're re-recruiting kids every single year, it's, to me, and the point I'm making, Nevada, is that when you have to re-recruit guys every year, it's a lot easier for me if I'm Justin Fry, if I'm the offensive line coach, to say, hey, Carson Hinsman or Luke Montgomery, we really think highly of you. We think so highly of you that we changed our dynamic in our substitution patterns to get you guys in the game because we thought you guys are playing that well. So we're doing these full line changes now. Nobody else does that, because not only does that get you involved in the game, it helps build our depth, but it also gets you ready to start next year. Because again, Seth McLaughlin is going to be in the NFL. Donnie Jackson is going to be in the NFL. Josh Fryer is going to be in the NFL. Teager is the only guy that's going to be back, and Josh Simmons is I think he's a really good shot to declare and leave early. So again, I think that rotating guys and getting guys in the game, I've said it a billion times, and I've lived it as a player, I've lived it as a coach. It's a lot easier, and these kids feel a lot better when they just get in the game and they get to play some, as opposed to just sitting there and having a goose egg on the participation sheet. And again, more kids will letter, more kids will get their Letterman coats, whatever. All that stuff adds up. Even if you guys don't think it does, I just know that it does. Nevada, any thoughts? And we will dig into some super chats.
No, it definitely matters. It definitely matters. And while you can talk about cohesion, you can talk about stuff, there's nothing like involvement, man. There's nothing like playing time, and nothing gets guys more excited than playing, and nothing gets the starters more excited than seeing the backups play. So hopefully we see that tomorrow. Like I said, it'll be a perfect game to do it, in my opinion. And let's see if they have the balls to do it.
Yeah, and I think it'll especially be good if we can get up early, get up 7 or 14-0, or and then you start rolling it a little bit, because once you have that lead, you have a little bit of a cushion and you can start experimenting a little bit. Because I think that the downside to it is when you're an offensive line, it's good to get into a rhythm versus guys. And I used to hate not sitting, and that was always my thing is I want to play. It wasn't just because I want to play, it's because I want to play to get into my rhythm of pass protection and how do the double teams fit, how strong are the guys that we're going against. Because the thing I loved about when I played is I could tell after 3 plays how strong was the defensive end, how quick is the defensive end, how are his hands, and when we double team a defensive tackle, how strong is he, how stout is he, or is he not strong? Because there's sometimes, again, I was always very adamant either way. Hey, this guy's a problem. Give me some help, or this guy is he's a joke and he's a fish, and make sure you help the other side. And again, I didn't ask for help, I don't think, ever. But I would say this guy, even on the best guys, I didn't say first round picks, I didn't ask for help. But in the running game, sometimes I say, hey, I can really move this guy. I can root this guy out of here pretty good, run it to the right, or hey, this guy's a little tougher. Because again, it's not all created equal. When we played LSU, the guy that Alex Boone went against, Alex is a fantastic player, but the guy that he went against was an undrafted free agent at his defensive end. And the guy that I went against was the 3rd pick in the draft, Tyson Jackson. So again, if you're game planning, you're well, we probably want to attack the guy that's not a draftable player in the NFL versus the guy who's the 3rd pick in the draft. And I didn't even think Tyson was good. He was okay, but he was way overdrafted, was a complete bust in the NFL. But you got to find those matchups, and that was something that I was really good about when I was coaching. Is hey guys, be honest with me. Don't just say because you're a big tough guy, big baddie, that hey I can whip my guy. Then we watch that film and you're getting whooped. Because again, we had matchups that weren't in our favor. When we saw Kewan Short, J.J. Watt, Ryan Kerrigan. There are certain guys that were first rounders that were really good players. And we needed to help. And again, there's nothing that angers me more in football than when I watch a clear mismatch between a defensive lineman and an offensive line, and these bozo moron offensive coordinators and play callers don't help the guy who has the clear mismatch. When you play the Kansas City Chiefs, if you don't double team Chris Jones on every pass protection, you should be taken out in the field and shot. If you let Myles Garrett beat you from the Cleveland Browns, you should be shot. If you T.J. Watt, it's in Max Crosby. If you don't double team those guys on every play, you should be fired. You should be banned from coaching football, Don't just say, "Oh, I'm going to put our guy out there and hope he gets it done." Because when those guys are that good, why wouldn't you say, "Well, let's let the other guy try to be. Let's let the number 2 guy or the number 3 guy try to be this instead of the guy who leads the NFL in sacks and forced fumbles." All right, let's get into some super chats. SC Buckeye, thanks for the deuce. Thanks for being ultra member as well. Score prediction 66-3 for me. We put our scores on BuckeyeScoop.com first. We have not done our game projections yet. Those will be up tonight. Again, all of our best information is on BuckeyeScoop.com first. And again, all of you guys that love this show should be members of BuckeyeScoop.com because it basically is like being on a 24-hour-a-day podcast. And again, as much as some of you crazies would love for us to do podcasts for 24 hours a day, I have to sleep at some point. But the message board never sleeps. It's like Las Vegas. There's always stuff that's going on in the middle of the night. There's always people up gambling, partying, talking football. That's what this is. Our message board is unbelievable. And it's the most active Ohio State message board of all time. It's incredible. Nevada, you've already stated that you haven't posted your score prediction on BuckeyeScoop.com. And also OH.
I haven't because I'm down at the 1922 club right now, hanging out.
Oh,
and once
God.
I get back from there, I'm gonna post my score thing. And I want you to know it's really nice down here. It's nice, rich Corinthian leather, nice lighting.
Oh my God!
Yeah, and I'm eating sliders right now and onion rings. It's very, very, very tasty.
Is this going to be like your new thing, the 1922 Club?
Dude. I really like the idea of a private club. I'm a private club kind of guy. I like that. It's kind of like Peppermill at Las Vegas, or little. I can imagine fire pits. They have like fire pits around there, little round sofas and stuff like that. Like their 24-hour menu. I think this place is going to be super awesome.
No, you don't. You're not even going to belong to it. Are you going to belong to it for when you come in, or are you just going to give Ohio State your $4,500 a year?
Well, look, I'm a big believer that I have not done enough for Ohio State, and I need to give them more of my money. Yes. I tell you that all the time. I'm like, look, I feel like I need to do more for Ohio State, and I need to give more of my money. So this may be a way for me to do it and feel good about it. You know what I'm saying? That I'm doing something, and then once every three or 4 years when I come in to visit my suite, I can go to the club and feel the rich Corinthian leather.
Well, I always tell them when they call and ask me, I say, as soon as you fulfill our Freedom of Information Act request, I will gladly give you guys money. But until then, I'm going to hold off for a little bit.
And find Nevadabuck sign. I want Nevadabuck sign back up.
I just want a TV that isn't like from 1987 and has a giant hole in the middle.
Yeah.
Because that's the greatest thing of all time. It's like we go to watch a replay and there's a giant cloud in the middle of our screen. And I look at all the other suites and they've got crystal clear, like, you know, and a TV that's that small costs like $150. I was like, I can go to Costco and get a little monitor and hang it up there. And you know, that's what I might do. I might just take the TV down and plug in like a computer monitor to it, and just like have it hanging there.
Do it.
You know, duct tape it in.
Let's go. Yeah. That'd be awesome.
That'll be our rebel yell right there. I'm here for it. All right, Buckeye BA. Thanks for the deuce. Kurt, who's Kurt? Kurt. Kurt and Nevada. Throw us a 4-way parlay. Nevada OH. I don't know who Kurt is. I'm going to have to find Kurt and ask him what a 4-way parlay is.
I like Kurt.
I mean, the only parlays I recognize are the Dagestan Poppy ones. So I hit a 2-legger last week, and Kim hit a 4 or a 3-legger because she's a genius. And I just was too stupid to pay attention, so I missed the first fight with our guy Juicet or whatever. Or no, it was another guy that we'd bet on before, and you know, that's how good Dagestan Poppy is. He's our MMA handicapper. He literally picked one fight to go to the decision, another fight to go to the decision, and then he picked Merab, who was the underdog, and he ended up being the favorite, but he was the underdog when he made the pick. And if you parlayed all that, it was unbelievable. I mean, this is like you put a couple hundred down and win 1,000, and I was like, good God. So I don't have a 4-way parlay. Nevada, do you have one?
Why don't we do a 4-way anytime touchdown parlay? Will you pick 2 people to anytime touchdown tomorrow, and I'll pick 2 people to anytime touchdown tomorrow? Who are your 2 people?
Trey Henderson and JJ Smith.
Okay, then I'm gonna go Quinshawn and Emeka. Let's go that be the four-way parlay right there. We'll go Quinshawn, Trey, Emeka, JJ Smith, all for anytime
Does
touchdown parlay.
does Emeka have a touchdown? He has to, right?
I don't know if he. I then I'm not 100% sure. It's only been 2 games. I can't believe we don't know the answer to this question. I know he didn't have one in the first game because he got kind of ripped off on that hand coming down thing. But they got it. They're going to feed it. They got to feed him the ball.
Yeah, I mean he's got to. I mean he's the guy that needs to eat. Let's see.
Yeah.
Emeka does not have a receiving touchdown, so that would be
Okay.
If I'm going to bet
case,
a large sum of money, it's on Emeka because Emeka is a captain. He's got 9 receptions. You know, his numbers are getting dwarfed by JJ. So, you know, if you want to swing the pendulum the other way, like you want to talk about a guy who's going to get forced to touchdown tomorrow, it's going to be Emeka. I mean, because he's the team captain and he's got 9 receptions for 149 yards, and I think JJ's had that in each game so far. What's Jeremiah Smith at? So there is the anytime touchdown is Emeka. Because again, those coaches, you got to understand, those coaches they look at the stats and who's been a good soldier and who needs to eat. And JJ's got 11 for 211 and 3 touchdowns. So, you know, Emeka's not going to go 3 games without a touchdown, I don't think. You know, because again, if you go through, you know, a 15-game season, that's, you know, I mean, it's like 4 or 5 touchdowns. Yeah, especially when they've taken them off the kick return stuff. So that'd be a good pick. So there you go. That work for you, Nevada? You're muted.
No, I think that's smart. I think
Emeka. Yeah. Go ahead.
I was checking the Emeka anytime football prop. So yeah, I definitely like that one a lot.
What's that at?
I couldn't get it because I had to come back and podcast because I'm so look. It's hard. I'm here at the 1922 Club eating sliders, and trying to podcast and trying to find props for you to bet. I mean, there's only so much stuff I can do, I mean, this is ridiculous.
You got like a snifter full of milk with your peanut butter and jelly at the 1944 club. It's like, I have a snifter of whole milk.
I like that.
Oh my god! You got like your pipe, and you put like bubble solution in it, and like bubbles go flying up in the air out of it.
It's pipe night. Pipe night tonight.
Oh my god! The 1944 club. Sean Rawlings, thank you for being an Ultra member. Thank you for the 20. Very busy today and tomorrow. Stay blessed, everyone. Appreciate you, brother. I hope you're doing good. Thank you for being a great moderator and a great Scoop Ultra member. JJ Leahy. Oh man. Thanks for the 5. Love the show, but don't enjoy that you call people idiots/stupid so much. That negativity is the only reason I can't play the show around my kids and wife. Well, I apologize for calling people stupid. That's my fault. I will try to do better, even though some of it is warranted. But I will try not to call people idiots and stupid. Nevada, make sure you get on me about calling people idiots and stupid, because I do call people idiots when they are idiots, because I think they are idiots. But I apologize for that. Any thoughts on that, Nevada?
I accept your apology. I accept your apology for you calling me an idiot and stuff like that.
You're not my target. You're not my target usually.
You guys on the show see what I have to put up with all the time.
Oh my god,
you idiot! And I'm like, I'm sorry, Kirk. I'm really sorry. That's it. Oh no. It's like no. Yeah, we try to have a pretty clean show. We don't cuss on the show. We try to keep it pretty PG or G rated, but we can always do better. For sure, we can always do better.
Yes, and please don't look up what people say about Nevada and I, because oh my god, idiot would be like the biggest. Idiot would be the biggest compliment I think we've ever been called.
Oh man, that hurts deeply, man. That hurts deeply.
You read what people write about us, man. Like, whew, man, people need to get out of their basements a little bit and get some fresh air. All right, you want to wrap this thing up, Nevada? What time? Oh, we gone. We got we're 40. We're good. Let's wrap this thing up. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, if you're at the Ocean Club tonight, go by and say hello to Burt Carton there at the Ocean
Oh
Club.
my
He will be
God,
there.
you're such an.
He he will be there, and like you go up and just say hello to him,
Just
and
order,
go say
but
hello.
order a bunch of stuff on the table and say Nevada sent me. You
Or just
know?
come over and start eating stuff off the table and say hello and
Yes.
give Uncle Jerry a hug. And Burt Carton, like I said, Ocean Club tonight. Burt Carton will be there if you guys want to go by and say hello to him because he loves
And
meeting the Scoop family. And if you're there, he'll
yeah,
be there. He'll be wearing his Ohio State jersey and his Letterman jacket, so you will not miss him. No chance.
and if you want to go to the Michigan game with Nevada, make sure you just meet with him in the front of the Huntington Club and just jump on his shoulders, and he will carry you in. And make
I
sure you
will.
walk
I
in,
will.
drink all of his beer, and eat all of his food.
Meet me in the 1922 club beforehand. We'll go for the club right up to the stadium. That's perfect.
And I will not call you an idiot for saying that, for telling people to come up
Thank
and
you.
say,
Thank
Kirk,
you.
bring it.
One day of peace. One day of peace.
One day of Kirk not being negative and calling
Exactly.
me not calling the Michigan beat writers idiots. So
Yes.
or
No, don't do it. Don't do it.
Connor Stallions, Blake Corum
Don't do
LLC
it.
formulating. I know. I'll be better.
Don't do it.
All right, let's wrap this thing up so we can boogie on out of here. Appreciate you guys. As always, thank you guys for being a huge part of the show. Again, thank you for being a part of the Scoop family. We had to knock this thing out a little bit earlier. Got some errands to run tonight. But if you guys enjoy this content, please leave us a like, click subscribe, also click that little alert bell. Again, I appreciate you guys for all that you guys do. Again, it's a huge show because you guys make it one. So thank you. Again, this is it's always it's a blast. It's a hoot. Nevada and I have so much fun doing this, so we appreciate you guys being a part of it. Sorry, we went a little early. We will try to figure out a time tomorrow. There's not really a good time on a Saturday with the noon game, so post show, I would imagine it'll go right on after the game, so you guys can plan on around 3:30. We will do a post game analysis, and we'll go from there. But again, we appreciate you guys so very, very much. Thank you so much, Buckeye Nation. Thank you, Scoop family. We will talk to you guys tomorrow, post-game show. Go Bucks.